Environmental advocates are sounding the alarm as a proposal to overturn a mining ban near the Boundary Waters steps closer to reality. The United States Senate is set to vote on overturning a 20-year mining ban in Cook, Lake, and St. Louis counties. The House of Representatives narrowly passed the bill.
So these protections basically banned copper mining on all federal lands and minerals in the watershed of the Boundary Waters. So that's over 225,000 acres. Mr. Pete Stauber, who is unfortunately the House representative for this area of Minnesota, has been a tremendously passionate advocate for the Twin Metals mine and for copper mining in general.
What makes a copper sulfide mine differ?
Is because the ore body contains sulfides. And so when it is mined and the rock is brought to the surface and it interacts with air and water, it creates a chemical reaction that generates sulfuric acid. That sulfuric acid then basically erodes out, pulls out the other heavy metals, toxic heavy metals that are in that ore body, and creates slush, a runoff that is so ubiquitous in this industry, it actually has its own name. It's called acid mine drainage. And folks may be familiar with this concept because maybe they saw pictures of the Animas River in Colorado a few years ago, or they've seen pictures from the Mount Polley Canadian mine tailings dam collapse. Essentially, it's this thick, orange, highly acidic, highly metallic slurry that is particularly dangerous in water. Copper mines of this nature have never actually been done anywhere in the world without some form of pollution to surrounding ground and surface water. And a lot of times these industries, these mine types are in arid southwestern places like Arizona, where the water is not particularly abundant, and still there you see significant water pollution. And so, I mean, I chose this background for a reason. This isn't like the most water-rich part of the Boundary Waters that I'm showing. This is just what the Boundary Waters is.
Right.
And so if you pollute, in one section, there's no way you're going to be able to contain it. And that highly, highly, highly acidic material would be devastating for this very, very vulnerable ecosystem. Actually is no copper mine that's ever been built, created in the world that hasn't had some form of pollution to surrounding surface and groundwater. So when we talk about the risk, America's most visited wilderness, over 1 million acres of deeply interconnected freshwater and boreal forest, it's not worth it. It's such high risk for very, very little reward.
Generally, copper and gold have other minerals associated to them, metals which are toxic for our health, such as arsenic. In this case, there is a huge buildup of this toxic chemical element exposed to the river and to the air. When it rains or when there is an earthquake, this material is highly susceptible to pollute the water because it's free and it's loose. If heavy rain falls, drops cause erosion and drag the liquid straight into the river.
While mines are the backbone of Chile's economy, their toxic byproducts accumulate in rivers, mountain areas, and reservoirs, causing major problems for residents.
We appreciate that mining is crucial to our economy and our national security and our way of life, but that is not what this mine is about. This mine is about a very well-connected foreign mining conglomerate, Antofagasta. It wants to develop this mine, dig up the copper, leave us with the mess, then send the metal most likely to China, and then sell it back to us or whoever is willing to pay the highest price.
economically, the Boundary Waters supports a robust outdoor amenity model of economics in the region. So regionally, the Boundary Waters supports 17,000 jobs. And Minnesota actually has one of the nation's fastest growing outdoor recreation industries. And that industry generates over $13.5 billion in revenue for the state of Minnesota every single year. And that's growing quickly. And that is so much anchored in this concept of North Country, Lake Country, the woods, the waters, the fishing, the hunting, the paddling. And so when you think about what would be at risk if the Boundary Waters were damaged or polluted, you're talking about an entire industry that supports not just the region in very, very real ways, but the entire state, and is fundamentally sustainable. It's a sustainable model when compared to the boom and bust cyclical model of extractive industries like mining. And unfortunately, we have seen that in Minnesota. I mean, we often deal with this boom in iron and taconite mining followed by massive layoffs and challenges because, you know, you're at the whims of an international metals market. You're only at the whims of kind of your own ability to stand up for this wild place when you in supporting an outdoor recreation-based economy.
The CRA is the Congressional Review Act. It's a law that allows Congress to expedite their legislative processes to repeal regulations that might protect wildlife or protect public lands. So when the Department of Interior protects public lands or the Fish and Wildlife Service does something for an endangered species that we care about, and they can go through and try and peel back those regulations using the CRA. There are many energy, public lands, wildlife-related rules that were finalized in the last few months. Using the CRA to peel back those environmental protections would be extremely damaging to wildlife.
Now, in the past, the Congressional Review Act was designed only to enable Congress to look back for about 60 days. So if the president put a new kind of regulation on something, the Congress had about 2 months to say, nah, we don't want to do that. But this Congress is using it to go way back, to go back many years, and they are expanding it beyond regulations into other kinds of orders as well. And the trick to this is that because of the way the CRA, as it's known, is written, a simple majority vote in both chambers makes that regulation moot. So they're trying to do that. It's already the CRA for the Boundary Waters has already passed the House of Representatives, and it's supposed to come up before the Senate. This is very serious because if they do this through the CRA to the Boundary Waters, Canoe area, they can go after any of the public lands in any state. And they've been very clear, the Trump administration has been very clear that they intend to do this.
Don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Congress in real time is breaking the system of federal land management. Land management plans are meant to give the public a roadmap or a blueprint for how to behave on public lands, what lands are going to be available for leasing, for ranching, for recreation, how will the federal government interface with tribal nations, what lands are going to be a focus for conservation. All of that is out the window. I do think that its national monuments will be squarely on the chopping block. If you're from California or Nevada or New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, we all have national monuments in our state. I mean, we're so fortunate to be in the West and have these outstanding public lands that presidents for decades have decided to establish national monuments to make sure that those outstanding places are conserved and managed for the protection of those resources for now and into the future, all of that's at risk now.
The public land planning and management system that has existed for decades and prioritizes public input and collaboration and compromise, and we're throwing all of that out the window apparently. So a Chilean mining company can make a bunch of money and poison the boundary waters. Awesome job, Congress. Good job, guys.